Before we proceed, I would like to remind you all that today's session is comprises of two segments. That is the introductory one, where I will pose some interesting question, or could say some basic question to the guest, and then we have the Twitter segment where you already posted some of the best question for the guest. So yeah, let's start with the first one. Okay, sir. So yeah, could you please introduce about yourself and a little bit about your background as well to our audience?
Yeah, nice to be here. So I'm Chirag Jetani. I am the co-founder and the chief operating officer at Diamante Blockchain. And by background, like I'm an engineer by background with my master's from Germany, post of which me and my co-founder back in 2018 incepted Diamante Blockchain. So it's a US-based parent company with which we have multiple subsidiaries across the globe, starting with Switzerland, UAE, and India.
Okay, yeah, good to know about it. Thanks for the introduction. So let's jump onto the main topic, like what is DM Circle, and please mention about its feature to our audience.
So basically, DM Circle is our flagship platform that offers a comprehensive ecosystem for building decentralized applications, like digital asset management, exchange platform. So using our proprietary blockchain network that's called Diamante Net. Alongside, we have DM, our native digital asset on the Diamante ecosystem. It's a utility coin that is built on top of Diamante Net. DM provides high security at every stage of the transaction and complete traceability at a very ultra low cost. The coin is also available in its wrapped version in BEP20 and ERC20 version as well. So that can be accessed via DM Wallet. So DM Wallet is our proprietary wallet application that is available on Play Store and App Store. That can be downloaded. We have a lot of users, a lot of traction, and where you can swap. And the unique feature that we have on DM Wallet, that is, you can also bridge between different chains within our network. So for example, let's say if you want to bridge with a DM BEP20 with a native DM, that can be done easily.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for the information, and these are great features. So if we are talking about the mission and vision, so what is DM Circle mission and vision? Please mention about it.
So our vision primarily revolves around industry positioned at the intersection of finance and technology, so commonly what we refer to as a fintech. However, our reach extends beyond the fintech, that we cater to industry that depends on transparency in the transaction and traceability. This inclusive span across the sectors such as payments, banking, gaming, finance, and even the rapidly growing ecosystem like metaverses. So we are committed to driving innovation and creating tangible value across industry. Like what we see, we don't see a lot of values that are being built on blockchain, the actual use cases. So we are quite different from that. So when we talk about our in-house products, like we have PayCircle and TEDCircle, right? So that shows a dedication of our ecosystem towards leveraging blockchain and AI technology to enhance the transparency, as well as to give an efficient solution that is accessible to one and all. So it is a global solution that we are offering, and that is how our ecosystem is designed. Like it serves various industries, like it is very diverse, right? We closely collaborate with the governments, with the credit unions. Then, sorry, just a second. Yeah. So we also collaborate with various enterprises, like where we build enterprise level solutions, as well as we also are developing decentralized applications. For instance, like what we have PayCircle. So PayCircle is a revolutionary super app where banking, payments, and investments, they come together in a single application. So we are like one of the only payments application that is 100% built on blockchain. And it has a huge potential. A user can open an actual bank account in less than 2 minutes with PayCircle. And whatever transaction that they do, it might be a KYC transaction, it might be a transfer transaction, it might be a purchase transaction of, let's say, digital assets, or even, let's say, stocks. Everything gets recorded onto the blockchain ledger, that is Diamante Net. So which gives a user real-time reflection of their funds and their assets. And when we talk about PayCircle and the banking institutions and the enterprises and the financial services providers, so whenever they are part of this network, so the real-time reconciliation becomes very easier. And it is very, very cost effective when we compare with, let's say, any other blockchain ecosystem or majorly we talk about cryptocurrencies, right? So a lot of cryptocurrency, without naming them, it takes them 15 minutes to 30 minutes for the transaction reconciliation, even on the crypto side of it. And so there are certain payment networks which are much more faster. So what we have built is on the blockchain and the crypto side of it, we settle any transaction in split seconds. So that is a uniqueness that we have. And it's not only about the banking payment side of it or investment side of it. When we talk about credit, right? So we have this application that's called Credit Circle. It's a venture again by Diamante that revolutionized how the funds and the assets are being managed on the credit side of it. For example, let's say the crypto industry is almost $2 trillion industry, and people like millennials, like they would like to avail credit, but on the crypto side of it, it is very difficult. But with the normal asset like fiat currency, it is very easier to avail credit with the credit cards that we have. So Credit Circle focuses on that area where, let's say, a user has even a Bitcoin of worth $100, and they don't want to sell it because everyone sees a future value. And currently, like Bitcoin almost lists more than $61,000. So no one wants to sell it. So they can instantly take up to 70% of credit right away with our application. And here again, I would like to speak about Diamante Net. All the transaction that even happens on Credit Circle or multiple applications that are built on our network, everywhere the native assets that is DM, that gets utilized, that gets burnt. So with the limited supply of the native asset that we have and with the multiple rep versions that we have, so with every transaction, there is a certain utility to it. That is how we are different as an ecosystem. And that's what we have built. And it's not just limited to that. So we have this application that's called Mudra Circle that is focus on convenient central bank digital currency solutions, right? We have seen a lot of countries deploying central bank digital currencies. So Mudra Circle would be one of the first and the private wallet, like we had, for example, PayPal or Paytms as the first wallet. So Mudra Circle would be the first private central bank digital currency wallet where user can transact in the CBDCs as well. And that is also built on top of Diamante Net. So that's the magic of the ecosystem that we have built. And it doesn't stop here, right? We have other ecosystem where we are building metaverses. We are building metaverses for different ecosystem players, right? From gaming to banking. And what happens with Meta Circle is with the new unique world, right? With the Apple coming up with the product and the Facebook are also coming with their product. So the core we have already started, that's called Meta Circle. That's again being utilized on the back end of it. It's Diamante Net. So that's the power of products that we have. And we are continuously building a strategic partnership with various gaming industries, with institutions, enterprises that leverages Diamante Net to build beautiful products that we have already showcased by providing it to the world. So that's the power of the blockchain and the innovations that we bring as a company with Diamante Net.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. Sounds pretty interesting. And these are the great mission and vision, must say. So moving on, I have another good question for you. Like, what is the role of anchors in the Diamante network, and how do they facilitate transaction between different currencies?
So I'm not sure a lot of viewers are more technical in this. So I would, and even I'm not a technical person. Like I don't have that tech background, but I try to explain the best as possible so that it becomes easier for the viewers to understand what exactly are the anchors, because it's a very specific question. So anchors in the Diamante Net, an off-ramp and on-ramp that ensures the conversions of fiat into the native asset, that in Diamante Net being DM. In any event of transaction, the anchor assets denotes the value of the transaction and network fees that happen on the network. To simplify it, so what we can say is whenever a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp, let's say if someone wants to purchase a DM, right, or someone wants to sell DM, so that's when on the transaction fee basis, so that's where the anchors come into the play.
Okay, got it. And hope our community member also get this. And yeah, people, if you want to know more about the project, please check out their documentation, can say white paper or website, etc. You will get more deeper information over there. So yeah, please do that. And moving on, this question is related to the related to the network ledger. Like, explain the concept of order book in the Diamante network ledger, and how do they contribute to currency exchange within the network?
So this is more technical as well. So I'll try to simplify it. So order books are the consolidated ledger statements that reflects the price of conversion requested by the network participants. For example, let's say if you are requesting a conversion, so order book reflects that price of the conversion. So it's basically like a normal ledger that we have, the book or the accounting that we have. So that happens during the respective interval from fiat to the anchor asset. For example, let's say at that particular point of a time, you are converting, let's say, DM to USD or USD to DM. So at that particular point of a time, whatever the conversion rate is, that gets reflected onto the ledger. So that's basically the order book. That's how it gets created.
Okay, thanks for the clarification. And now I have last question for you from this segment, or could say before we move ahead to another segment. So what goals you want to achieve in this year?
So we are expanding our verticals in different parts of the world. Like I earlier mentioned, we have multiple subsidiaries in different parts of the world. So the Pay Circle, one of our proprietary application, that's a super app that's already live in US. So we are expanding our verticals to UAE. So we have recently partnered with the royal family of Abu Dhabi, the Al Nahyan family, so that we can move the same ecosystem in the UAE and the whole MENA region. And they are one of our investors as well. So recently, in an event, they announced a $15 million investment into our company. So that's the scale of partnership that we have. So we are trying to utilize maximum network that we have. We are building our communities. Our communities are growing, and we are getting our DM listed in one of the biggest and the largest exchanges in the world, without naming them with the certain privacy restrictions that we have. But when we say the biggest and the largest exchange, everyone knows what exchange that we are talking about. And also the DM network, the DM coin will be listed on multiple exchanges during the course of this year. So the ecosystem is vastly expanding, and I would like to say to the viewers, please join our ecosystem. The companies who are listening to it, they can come utilize our network. They can host our nodes. So we are also providing nodes. We are selling our nodes. So there is a huge traction. So please join us and be a part of this wonderful ecosystem.
Okay, that's great. And hope you achieve all this goal very soon. All the very best from our side. And yeah, guys, please support this wonderful project. Be the part of this project. And yeah, support them, be the early supporter of this project. So moving on, now it's time to start our final segment, that is the X1. So in this segment, our community member already posted some of the best question on our X handle. So we selected some of them. So let's see like what they asked. So one of our member asked you that describe the consensus mechanism used in the Diamante network, and what are its key properties, and how does it ensure the validity of transaction?
So again, I would like to simplify over here because this question is very specific, and I think thanks a lot for asking this question, because people must understand what exactly blockchain is. What is consensus? So consensus is just an agreement between two parties. Right, there are multiple consensus mechanisms in terms of how blockchain ecosystems have developed. Right, so we started with bitcoins, and now we have. So it's similar to like how we're using iPhone, let's say 5, 6, and now we are into almost iPhone 15. So technology always advances, and that's where the consensus mechanism also advances. So Diamante Net consensus mechanism is based on a federated consensus model, which means there is no central authority that needs to be trusted. Instead, the consensus is reached through a process of voting by a group of trusted nodes, right? So when we talk about the trusted nodes, we call them validators. Validator can be anyone, right? They don't need to be permission by a central authority. So it's not controlled by a central authority. In order to reach a consensus, the validator must first agree on a set of rules, right? That set of rules are called quorum slices. So it's like a normal agreement, like between how we do it within the friends or the enterprises or the government. And those quorum slices defines the validators that must participate in the consensus process and how they will vote. That's the definition that we get from it. And upon the agreement between the quorum slices, Each validator casts a vote. These votes are then tailed and consensus decision is made. So that's basically and coming to an agreement. So Diamante Net is designed to be more scalable than existing consensus protocol, and it does not rely on a single authority. This means that it can be used to reach consensus in various distributed systems, including those large number of nodes that we have.
Okay, thank you, sir, for clarification. And moving on, another question says like, what are the federated by Zenit agreement (FBA) system, and how do they differ from traditional by Zenit agreement systems?
So federated Byzantine agreement, right? That's called FBA. It's a type of consensus mechanism used in distributed networks, like what we have in Diamante Net. Unlike traditional Byzantine agreement system that requires all nodes to agree on a single state, FBA system allows for more flexible trust, where nodes can choose which other nodes they trust. So it's a very open system. This leads to a more scalable and decentralized system. That's what Diamante Net is. It doesn't require an unanimous agreement or a fixed set of validators. FBA systems are often used in networks such as, let's say, Stellar, right, to achieve consensus more efficiently and flexibility that creates within the network. And it's the trust that is being built.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. So moving on, another question says like, how does the Diamante, sorry, am I audible to you? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So how does the Diamante network handle safety and liveness in its consensus protocol? Explain the term safety and liveness in this context.
So this is a wonderful question as well, right? Everyone wants to listen about the liveness and the safety of any ecosystem, right? So when we talk specifically about the Diamante Net and the network that is, it's a wonderful network, right? It's a very beautiful network. A lot of enterprises are trusting it. A lot of distributed ecosystems are being built on top of it that we call side chains. So when we talk about safety, what is safety? The safety property ensures that no two faulty nodes ever agree on different values, right? So it becomes very safe. Like if I want to say it in other words, it guarantees that all the nodes within the network will produce the same block, ensuring the integrity and consistency of the ledger. And we talk about the liveliness. The liveliness ensures that a node can output a value without the participation of any misbehaving nodes. It guarantees that the system can continue operating and making progress even if in the presence of a failure of all malfunctions. So that is the ecosystem that we have built. And when we talk about another priorities for the Diamante Net, right? So what are the main priorities? So definitely the safety and liveliness are priority in achieving the consensus, and that's how the consensus protocol has been built. This means that the network is designed to prevent conflict in decisions and ensures that integrity of the ledger. And even if it means that the blocks can sometimes get stuck while waiting for nodes to agree, this prioritization is based on a belief that the consensus is very smoothly achieved, right? There's no safety failure. Basically, when we talk about a safety failure, like when we say about double spending, like when we do a transaction, sometimes we 2 times of transaction. So that means like it becomes twice. So this is the safety measures that we already taken, which are far worse than those of liveliness failure, which might result in delays in payments. So that whatever infrastructure that we have built, it ensures both the safety and liveliness of the network.
Okay, thank you so much for the explanation. And another question is related to the Quorum Slice. Like, how does the concept of Quorum Slice contribute to the decentralization and flexibility of Diamante network?
So when we talk about quorum slices, like I already explained, what are the quorum slices? Like, so quorum slices are a subset of the network that a node relies on each other to reach the consensus. This decentralized decision-making process is a departure from traditional Byzantine agreement to an FPA, where every node must trust the other node in the network. In Diamante Net, nodes can have multiple quorum slices. Every single node can have multiple quorum slices, and these slices can be based on various criteria, such as existing financial relationship or the reputation of other nodes. Right? This gives a flexibility on what quorum sizes are being chosen that contributes to the hybrid nature of the Diamante network. So when we talk about the decentralized control, right, there is no central authority dictating which node must be trusted. Each node independently decides its quorum slices, leading to a more distributed and democratic network. So this is how the network is built. And when we talk about the adaptability of it as well, like node can adjust their quorum slices in the response to change in the network, such as nodes becoming unreliable or new nodes being added. This adaptability helps maintain the network's integrity and secure over time. So it gives a lot of security. And it has a resilience to a lot of attacks as well. In a traditional Byzantine agreement system, adding malicious nodes to the network can compromise the system. However, within the Diamante ecosystem, where we have FBA, right, malicious nodes have no effect unless they are included in the quorum slices of a critical mass. So this is something that makes the ecosystem very wonderful, and it becomes very harder for the attackers to undermine the network. And when we talk about the intersection of it, like the quorum intersection, for the network to remain safe and avoid forks, it is essential that quorums intersect. This means that any two quorums must share at least one honest node. Nodes are responsible for ensuring that their choice of quorum slices maintain quorum intersection, what we spoke, like what we already communicated earlier, right? Thus, that prevents overall malicious activities and that preserves the overall safety of the network.
Okay, thank you so much for a concise answer. And now another question. So this question says, like, discuss the potential challenges and advantages of using a decentralized network like Diamante for real-time asset settlement compared to the traditional centralized systems.
So when we talk about Diamante Net, right? So it's a decentralized network on what Diamante ecosystem is being built for real-time asset settlement, and it has several advantages compared to the traditional centralized ecosystem. That's where the blockchain potential comes into the play, and that's how the blockchain and the crypto ecosystem has evolved. The evolution, like the start of the Bitcoin, the evolution has been wonderful. So what it provides transparency, right? When we talk about transparency, it's an open source, publicly permission nature of the network that ensures real-time availability of the transactions specific to the data about the assets. This allows the assets issuers to monitor the flow of the fund, the transaction, and share ownership without compromising sensitive data. So that's how transparent the network is. And when we talk about the sustainability and the efficiency of the network, the Diamante Net consensus protocol that we have is a low energy consensus mechanism that is very environmental friendly. Like it's a pre-mined asset and it has a instant consensus. It doesn't require a lot of energy, which makes the network very attractive option for like energy consensus issuers, right? So that's the beauty about it. And additionally, what it does, it's a lot of operational efficiency. When we talk about asset tokenization, like such as Stellar, so it can lead to a significant operational efficiencies by consolidating record keeping, sources, and leveraging the blockchain real-time ledger. That's a similar kind of a network that is Diamante Net that allows the user to have a real-time ledger reflection. And also this reduces the need of the redundant servers. Like we don't need a lot of servers. We don't need to use a lot of energy. That minimizes the risk and the cost associated with the transaction queues and delayed reconciliation. Like, for example, sometimes we have seen a lot of high transactional costs for, let's say, Ethereum. And even, let's say, with the Polygon, with the transaction costs are increasing. So that doesn't happen within our network. It always remains very stagnant. It is very fast. So that's the beauty about the network that we have built. So this solves a lot of challenges within the network. And when we talk about the certain distribution channels and the smart contracts, the Diamante network opens a new distribution channel for digital asset, like cryptocurrencies, what we say. And it enables the integration of tokenized assets into the digital economy. You can tokenize multiple kind of assets, not only by the enterprises, even by the governments. So what we have seen, like the upcoming developments in the smart contract capabilities of the networks are set to further enhance the automation of the financial services. And ultimately, everyone wants to hear about the cost of the side of it, right? So how it is more beneficial. So when we talk about the tokenization, it can be 35% to 65% more economical than the traditional securities, like which allows the banks to tap into a new markets and offer new accessible investment opportunities to a wider range of customers. And when we talk about challenges, everyone has certain challenges, right? It's not always that we neglect them. We have to think about it. We have to assess about it. So when we talk about cryptocurrencies, it's a regulatory uncertainty, right? So there is a lack of universal recognition in terms of how the cryptocurrencies or digital assets are being accounted or regulated with ethical standards, with the FATF, with the AML policies. So that becomes very uncertain, and it exposes a lot of investors to potential malpractices. And the borderless nature of the blockchain and the cryptocurrencies, that poses additional challenges. So the cross-border data, how it is being flowed between two countries or two authorities. What are the IP rights, right? What are the capital controls? So there are a lot of regulatory challenges, but that is same for the whole blockchain and the crypto ecosystem. And there are other challenges as well, like when we talk about, let's say, tax complexity. So some of the countries are already taxed the cryptocurrencies with the regulators being very prompt, but still a lot of geographies are uncertain about the taxation side of it. So every country and every state has a varying taxation law in different parts of the world. So that is also very crucial. And one more technical challenge, what we can see, it's a smart contract security. While the decentralized nature of the blockchain makes it very secure against the cyber attacks, like the smart contracts can also be vulnerable to certain security loopholes and hacking. So diligent auditing is very critical to protect against the smart contract vulnerabilities. So those are certain kind of challenges. Not only Diamante as a company, a lot of companies that are already operational or that are going to go operational have to face. But I'm very sure that it will be resolved very soon, as the regulators are also understanding what everyone is doing, and the talks that we are doing like this, so that will educate more and more people and more enterprises and governments, so it becomes very easier for them to regulate.
Indeed, and yeah, very nice explanation. I love hearing so far. And now I have last question for you from next segment. So how does the Diamante network utilize distributed ledger technology to enhance transparency and security in document sharing and transactions?
So it's a wonderful use case that we have built already on top of it. Like, so we are also collaborating with multiple networks. So we have already deployed one of our use cases with Greenfields and a lot of other networks like Hyperledger Fabric. So when we talk about Diamante Net, like it is fortified with a multi-layer authentication mechanism and anti-spamming controls that ensures that only authenticated users and the stakeholders can participate in the transaction. Additionally, our encryption mechanism is built upon underlying principles of FHE. So it's called fully harmonic encryption, reducing the computational requirements for encryption and decryption of data within the network, which is not available with a lot of networks that are live. So that makes Diamante Net very different. And this comprehensive approach to security and encryption not only safeguards the sensitive information, but also enhances the efficiency and reliability of the blockchain network. So this becomes very important, where Diamante Net is a lot scalable, a lot faster, and that powers the DM, the native asset, that we call DM, so which is soon going to get listed in multiple exchanges and also in the world's largest exchange. So that's the power that the DM and the network brings to the table.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for this concise answer. And I think we covered the most of the part of the project, and it's time to wrap up now. So thank you very much for your valuable time, and your insights were incredibly informative. And if there is anything you want to convey to our audience or offer as a closing statement?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I would like to thank all the viewers that attended and the people who missed, and they can always see the recorded segments of it. And if they have any particular questions about the network, not only the Diamante Net, anything about the blockchain or the cryptocurrency, so we are very happy to share knowledge on it so that every individual should get knowledgeable about the new asset class. It's relatively new when we compare to a lot of other asset classes. So everyone should have a certain knowledge about it. And also, when we see there is a beautiful project or a network that is happening. So Diamante Net is very powerful, and so people are always invited. The viewers are always invited to join our community to see our growth in terms of how this will be one of the biggest project in the coming years.
Okay, that's great. And thank you so much to the whole team of Diamante. And people, if you need any assistance or if you have any question related to the project, please drop those questions on their social platform. Their community manager, their lead member will definitely reply you. And yeah, please support this wonderful project. And yeah, so it's time to wrap up now. So yeah, thank you very much. And see you next time. Have a great day to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for your time. Really appreciate it. And thanks a lot to all of you guys.
Okay, bye.